Okay, we are back live implementing the horizontal folder structure. What you see over here on the right side of the screen is actually another tower. It just happens to be in the same room I'm in. Um, it's a common practice when you're studying development. Uh, this Windows 10 over here, what you see on the majority of the screen is my personal system. See, this is all my Windows 10. Uh, I'll leave this link up here because I'm pretty much plagiarizing their book. I don't mean any disrespect by that, giving them all the credit I can. I've seen people do reaction videos to Doctor Who. I've got a free 1 month trial, and I'm trying to get to this book in the next month. So I'm leaving that there to give them all the due credit. I'm just covering their material live. So learning to learn. The code must go on. Video capture, there's a little green screen of me. I'm not worried about my face, but sometimes I like to talk with my hands if I can get them in the right spot. So here we go. The code must go on. Window capture. That's not even really helping. That's, what is that? Is that the wrong layer? I think that was just blocking out some stuff. I don't know if that'll save me any bitrate. We'll turn that off. Display capture, that's my Windows 10. Okay, so point being, this is my local Windows 10. This is my personal machine. I try not to, and again, this is a best practice, I suppose. You don't necessarily want to develop your application in public or on your private machine. So you need something in between. You need a test dummy. You need a practice server at home, so to speak. So apart from the Windows 10 that I'm using here for myself, I've got this team viewer, which allows me to open up. This tower is 10 feet away on a different desk. This is kind of what I call my guest system. If you want to come hang out and get nerdy with me, we each have our own computer. But this is the server, and it's bare bones. It's a Windows 7 Vista, 2 gigabytes of memory, I think, if that. No, 2 gigabyte processor. I don't know what the memory is. I'm not worried about it right now. I don't think it'll be an issue. Node seems to be very efficient with the RAM. So here on Windows 10, the link at the bottom again, we're following along, implementing the horizontal folder structure. To begin the structuring of your first main project, create a new project folder with the following folders inside of it. So desktop, the code must go on. We've got an app, a configuration, and public, which is exactly what it gives us in this graphic here. If you open up the app, it kept making me do these in alphabetical order. I really wanted to do them in a model view controller. That's what we normally expect for an MVC. And then routes. We go back up. Apart from our app, we've got our config right here. So our configuration has our environment. So the server we're on now is it's not production yet. That'll probably be something in the cloud. That could be a Google Cloud. It could be Heroku. It could be Azure. It could be DigitalOcean's. It seems to be a very competitive market space right now, where they get your serving and hosting down to microcents. But why waste all the time and money, or why waste money on that when you could do it on an old tower sitting across the room from you? So, and you could practice your development. You could make your app in the cloud. Uh, a lot of people test their apps live. They just give something that's still being. I mean, it's always. That's why they call it the living code. It's always being developed. So, anyways, stay on topic here. It's easy to get on tangents when thinking out loud. Code must go on public and image. So we've just copied the folder structure, the generic architecture they're giving us here. Once you've created all the preceding folders, go back to the application's root folder. The code must go on. So we're going to call this one. I like that name. And create a package JSON file. So we're back in the root. Once you have created all the preceding folders, go back to the application's root. Okay. You know what? Maybe we could, if we're going to do JSON anyways. Should have brackets on this machine, right? There it is, brackets. It's loading slow. Like I said, it is an old Windows Vista 7. Might be time to upgrade this. Alright. Can I make it any bigger? It's hard. Even for you guys, I mean, it's hard enough for me to see, but maybe you guys got better vision than me. Here we go, view. I don't see anything to zoom in. Oh well, we'll work with it. Sorry guys. Alright, so back on topic here. We're gonna make a JSON file. Back on desktop. The root. We're gonna make one, not open one. So maybe we do this in the other order. What we want is out of that window. I'll do the contents first. We've got a copy button. That's very convenient. All the code we're going to use has copy buttons. So we'll try that. Those aren't always available in other resources. Okay. And then we've also got the name of the file. Why not? Everybody thinks the faster you're on the keyboard, the better you can code. That's not. It's complete. One's cognitive, one's muscle memory. If I can if I can program with a mouse, I don't need to type. That's carpal tunnel. Save as package JSON. We're in the wrong spot. Alright, I should be up on our instructions. Let's go back and read what's next. Now, in the app controllers folder, create a file named with the following code. put that? I don't know, George. What did the instructions say? Well, let me read the instructions. The instructions say app controllers. We have app controllers. There's an app. It has controllers. Does it have a name? I don't think I copied it. No, I don't have it yet. It is in app controllers, George. No, the file name. Create a file named JavaScript. Index. Can you put? I guess you can. File named. I don't know that I've ever used periods in my file names before. Oh, I'll be George. Nope. Exports was used. Okay. I did get warnings, but not because of periods in my name. Exports was used before it was defined. Well, I'll be George. It's not defined, it's just used. Expected only one space bar between function and expected exactly one space between function. Well, I can do that. Missing use strict statement. Be nice to have a little, it's like a little fill that in. Like, yes, do that. Okay, they've not told us to use strict, so we'll just take a mental note of that. Expected response at column 5, not column 3. Send hello world. Missing use strict statement. So maybe they'll tell us to fill that in a little bit. Alright, I think we're up to date. The instructions again. Let's do Control S. Has a little beautify, which it didn't need. Okay. Package, JSON, app, controller, index server controller, JavaScript. Alright, we're up to date, boss. IDE, or no, IDE, yeah. Integrated Development Environment. That's why it lights up and gives us little warnings. Knows it's not just letting us. It's like a. It's got a little low-level AI. It's looking at what you type and kind of spell checking you. File Explorer. Okay, I got 2 of these guys open. Where are we at on time? About halfway through the episode. Okay. These are the exact same thing. If you come down here to you just say command prompt, and you open up one of these bad boys, and then while you got it open, you say unpin from taskbar. So I got 3 of them. I don't know which one's which now. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. This is the new one. But they're all the same. We're at users turtle. So the point being, one of these will be over here. The other one, I don't really know how to, I don't really want to call this the client. This is your server, but they're both servers. You got 2 servers. I've heard the analogy made, this is your waitress. This is that server. This is the waitress server. On the same tower, we've also got this server. This server's in the kitchen. This is the database. This will be the database. Right now, they're exactly the same. These are just 2 employees clocking in on the CPU. These are threads, I guess. These are command line interfaces waiting for instructions. Automated employees waiting for you to tell them what to do so they can clock out. Because all they want to be is done. But right now they're at ease. So the instructions haven't told us to do anything with them yet, but just know they're there. Those are command prompts. File Explorer, brackets. Alright, back to our reading. Congratulations! You just created your first Express controller. This code probably looks very familiar. That's because it's a copy of the middleware you created in the previous examples. What you do here is use the common JavaScript module pattern to define a function named renderer. Oh, we did. Hey, look at what we copied. We got our renderer. Request response. Respond status 200, send hello world. Renderer. Renderer equals function. Renderer function. Later on, you'll be able to acquire this module and use this function. Acquire. Import, export. Once you've created a controller, you'll need to use an express routing functionality to utilize the controller. Routing. Functionality. Controller. Alright. Today's words, boys and girls. Okay, handling request routing. Express supports the routing of Express supports the routing of request using either the app route path verb callback method or the app verb path callback method. App verb path callback. App route path verb call. What's going on here? Both apps. Routes. Path and verb are inverted. They both end in callback. Verb, route path, verb path. Alright, where verb should be replaced with a lowercase HTTP verb, take a look at the following example. App get request response. Response status 200, send. This is a get request. Looks like we're going to copy that. This tells Express to execute the middleware functionality for any HTTP request. Using the get verb and directed to the root path. If you'd like to deal with post request, your code should be as follows. App get, app post. This is a post request. Alright, hold on. I see the code. Where do you want me to put it? If I've copied it, I need to paste it somewhere. Would you put it in that same spot? Exports. Let's see. No. Response status 200. Response status 200. App get backslash exports renderer function request response function request response This tells Express to execute the middleware function for using the get verb and directed to the root path. Like to do with code should be as follows. Handling request routing. Express supports the routing requests. It doesn't say expressly. I'm thinking it wants me to put that code in the exact same file I just had. But I also don't think it's an override. I think I'm just supposed to put it below it. So we're going to try for now. If we get an error, we need to go back and research some more. The code must go on. Take a look at the following example. Alright, let's use that in the same spot. Response.status 200 send apt-get exports renderer function. I wonder if even this would make a difference. If I get it in the right file, I'm happy. Exports renderer. I haven't ran either one yet. Maybe they want you to override it. Hello world. This is a Gary. I think we're gonna leave both of them in there. Let's do that until we get an error. It hasn't even told us to run anything yet. Okay. This tells Express to execute the middleware function for any HTTP request using the get verb and directed to the root path. If you'd like to deal with the post request, your code should be as follows. Post. Sure, let's throw this in there too. Apt-get. We can always comment out one of these blocks. And this kind of shows what blocks. These are building blocks. I've tried to explain to other people. A lot of times, building code, writing code, is just snapping your blocks together in the right order. You know, we've all, Legos, Lincoln Logs, whatever. We've all played with different building blocks growing up. Depending on how you snap what together, you can build different things. And if any of these throw an error, we can just do a comment out. Let's see, what would it be on here? Nope, that wasn't it. Most IDEs have a shortcut for comments. We'll find that for brackets later. Alright, let's do a save on this. Keep reading. Okay. However, Express also enables you to define a single route and then chain several middleware to handle different HTTP requests. This means that the preceding code example can also be written as follows. Looks like the end of our episode. Let's compare these real quick. This is a GET request. This is a POST request. This is a GET request. This is a POST request. There's no hello world in here. So I'm thinking for right now, I'd probably comment these out. We're giving a general hello to everyone. But depending on if they feed us a GET or a POST, we respond with a GET or a POST. Seems pretty straightforward. I think I understand what's going on there. At least enough to call this a wrap on the recording. We're going to upload this, and I'll see you after break.